The cost of freedom. Our 10th anniversary should have been a celebration. 10 years of shared memories, quiet mornings over coffee, matching socks fresh from the dryer, and the kind of intimacy that comes from true familiarity. Instead, I dropped a bombshell. We had dinner at home. Soft music played in the background. The flicker of candlelight reflected in his eyes. I had prepared his favorite meal: rosemary chicken, roasted vegetables, and a bottle of Pinot we'd saved for the occasion. He smiled the whole time, completely unaware that my mind was elsewhere, that I had already rehearsed my lines a dozen times. His name was Noah, steadfast, generous, dependable. The kind of man who remembered to warm the car on cold mornings and folded laundry without being asked. But somewhere along the way, his consistency, once comforting, began to feel like monotony. I mistook loyalty for limitation. I convinced myself that wanting more made me brave. When dessert was finished, I said it. "Noah, there's something we need to talk about." He looked up from his wine, his brown eyes gentle and trusting. "Of course. What's going on?" I inhaled deeply, my heart pounding. "I want to open our marriage." The words landed like stones in a silent room. The air grew thick. His face didn't change at first, just a blink, then another. His jaw clenched almost imperceptibly. No outburst, no demands, just a haunting stillness. I scrambled to explain. I told him I loved him, that this wasn't about not wanting him, but about needing to explore a different side of myself. I said we could still grow, just in separate directions. That I didn't want to leave. That this could make us stronger. He said nothing. Just stood, collected his plate, rinsed it under the tap, and placed it gently into the dishwasher. Then he looked at me. Not angry, not sad, just unreadable. "Thanks for dinner," he said quietly and walked upstairs. That night I expected a confrontation. Maybe a storm of shouting or a desperate, angry embrace. But Noah didn't sleep beside me. I found him on the couch, lying rigidly under a thin throw blanket, facing the wall. When I woke the next morning, something felt off. No coffee brewed. No water running from the upstairs shower. His side of the bed was untouched. I called out his name. Silence. I checked the guest room, the office, even the garage. The front door was unlocked. Cold dread crept over me. Half his clothes were gone. His favorite shoes. His guitar. Even his watch was missing from the nightstand. Panicking, I grabbed my phone. No missed calls, but something was wrong. I opened my banking app. Every account, joint and personal, was frozen. A notification popped up. "Your access has been restricted by the primary account holder." Then I saw it. An envelope on the kitchen table, heavy with implication. Inside, divorce papers. Attached was a single note in his unmistakable handwriting. "You wanted freedom. I'm giving it to you, on my terms. Noah." I sat in stunned silence, my hands trembling. It had only been hours. He hadn't just left. He vanished with precision. No rage, just execution. The lawyer I met with confirmed everything. There was a prenup, airtight. I had forgotten about the signing ceremony during our engagement, but it was there in black and white. If either spouse pursued extramarital relationships or suggested open arrangements, they forfeited all claims to shared assets. I hadn't cheated, but I had spoken the words that counted. The lawyer's voice cut through my shock. "Did you sleep with anyone after that conversation?" I looked down. I hadn't. Not yet. But Noah had already drawn the line, and he had acted before I could. By week's end, I was evicted from the home we once built together. His attorney sent a polite but firm email outlining the terms of my exit. No legal battle, just cold, seamless removal. I rented a tiny studio across the city. One room. Second-hand furniture. Thin walls and thicker silence. Every item I owned fit into 3 boxes. And then came the second wave. 2 weeks after Noah left, my boss summoned me to her office. She didn't speak, just handed me her phone. On the screen, screenshots of group texts that looked like they were from me. Noah was a great guy, just not exciting in bed. I needed options. Other cruel lines followed. Vulgar, smug, and completely fabricated. Gasp. I never wrote these. But they had my name, my contact photo, my number. The damage was done. Until we sort this out, my boss said flatly. We're placing you on unpaid leave. One by one, my friends disappeared too. Rachel, one of my closest confidants and a bridesmaid at my wedding, replied to my desperate message with, "You're toxic." Then she blocked me. The world around me shrunk until I was alone in a room I didn't recognize, mourning a life that no longer existed. And then I saw it. An interview. Noah had given a guest appearance on a podcast titled, "When Loyalty Isn't Enough." Click. His voice was calm, measured, deadly. Some people think freedom means breaking hearts without consequence. They expect to walk away clean. The host asked, "So what did you do?" He smiled faintly. "I left. But not silently." "Do you still talk to her?" "No. The silence is the message." Felt sick. Noah didn't want vengeance. He wanted erasure. And he was succeeding. Weeks later, I heard a knock on the door. It was Adrian Bell, Noah's lawyer. He handed me an envelope. "Final settlement," he said. "Not financial, just terms." Inside was a letter. Noah's handwriting again. "Dear Clara, you once said you wanted something different. So I made sure everything you touch now feels foreign. No lawsuits, no tabloids. I've done worse. I've erased you from the life we built. This letter is the last thing you'll ever receive from me. No vengeance. Just your own voice echoing back at you forever. Noah." I dropped the letter. My hands were numb. "Would you like me to respond to him on your behalf?" Adrian asked. I shook my head. How do you respond to nothing? Noah hadn't just left. He had erased every trace of me from his world. And worse, he made sure the people I trusted helped him close the door. Months passed. I tried therapy, dating apps, journaling. Nothing helped. I applied for dozens of jobs. Every interview ended the same. Polite dismissal and a lingering sense that something about me had already been judged. One night, scrolling social media, I found a photo of him. A mutual acquaintance had posted it. Noah stood on a sailboat, smiling beside a younger woman, their hands intertwined. The caption read, "Freedom isn't chaos, it's choosing peace over noise." I stared at it for a long time, not out of hatred but because I finally understood. He hadn't punished me. He had simply removed me, surgically, completely, and with absolute calm. 3 years later, I still live in that tiny apartment. The mattress has a frame now. I work a minimum wage job, no campaigns, no deadlines, no friends. Sometimes people ask, "Did you ever hear from Noah again?" Say no. Even if I did, I wouldn't deserve to. His silence wasn't revenge. It was the verdict. And I've lived in its echo ever since. Question for you readers. Was Noah justified in his response? What would you have done in his place? Let us know in the comments.